Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So we have some good news fresh out of Texas. The courts have decided to step in a case that they definitely needed to step in. If you're not aware of what's going on, the governor out there, in an attempt to rally his base prior to upcoming elections, issued an edict that basically said parents were to disregard medical professionals and listen to a politician when it comes to their kids. That's really what it boils down to. They can dress it up however they want, but that's what it was. Now, the courts have stepped in and said, yeah, this isn't flying. They've issued an injunction, and that injunction will remain in place until July when the case is heard. This edict stopped parents from following the advice of medical professionals when it comes to gender identity of their kids. A politician single-handedly wrote out a statement and said, hey, if you follow the advice of docs or docs give you this advice, well, we're going to have them investigated, have you investigated by Child Protective Services. And the whole goal of this was to rally his base, because he's got to give them somebody to demonize, to kick down at. And in this case, it's kids. But again, the courts have stepped in, which, to be honest, I was a little worried because it's Texas. I'm not going to lie. That was my sole reason for being worried. Every single lawyer I've talked to about this says that this is not only against the U.S. Constitution, it also violates Texas's state constitution. Now, for the political aspects, it doesn't make any sense there either. The only two policies that Republicans had that were gaining any traction, that were resonating with voters, was the idea of medical freedom, which basically meant they didn't want to wear a mask, and the idea of parental rights, which meant they didn't want to read, didn't want their kids to read. Those were the two terms that were resonating with voters. And what does Governor Abbott do? Issues a proclamation saying that parents don't have any rights when it comes to medical procedures and advice. It doesn't make any sense. It undermines the only two things that they really had that were motivating their base. But it is worth noting that he issued this and had it come out right around the same time that ERCOT story broke. That's, I guess that's a big coincidence, I'm sure. Not like he was trying to divert attention from it. But it does appear that, at least for the moment, it failed. The thing is, the fight's not over. People are still going to need help, and people in Texas are still going to be worried. The good news is you have some time to get out if that's the option that you're going to look at. Now, with everything else that's happening in the country concerning this particular demographic, it's worth noting that a lot of big businesses are starting to push back, even if ever so slightly, on this type of legislation, because they know it's unpopular and they know if they give money to these candidates, it's going to be found out and it's going to impact their bottom line. It's not like the company suddenly grew a conscience. So this may have been a really bad move for Abbott politically. Set aside the fact it's obviously a bad move morally. So, but at least we can go into the weekend with a little bit of good news. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.